Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Vaughn Biggs, and let's square up health. Zero HIV Stigma Day hopes to improve conversations about those living with HIV. Launched in 2023 in honor of the late South African AIDS activist Prudence Nobantu Mabele, the annual Zero HIV Stigma Day has become a global movement intended to educate communities about HIV and erase HIV stigma. The 2025 campaign theme, HIV Stigma Warriors, calls on everyone to commit to collaborative efforts to challenge stereotypes and promote an environment of dignity for people living with and affected by HIV. Stigma, which is defined as the devaluation, discrimination, or exclusion of individuals or groups based on perceived difference or moral failing, is not only a social issue, but also creates a healthcare issue. It continues to undermine public health goals, particularly when it intersects with other forms of systemic injustice such as racism, xenophobia, homophobia, transphobia, misogyny, and ableism. This intersectional stigma is experienced most acutely by individuals at the margins, such as the Black and Brown LGBTQ plus individuals, transgender individuals, sex workers, migrants, and others whom societal rejection is not just possibility, but a part of their everyday life. The global fight to end HIV as a public health threat by 2030 remains one of the most ambitious and noble undertakings in modern public health history. Only by fighting against stigma and educating communities about treatment and prevention can that goal be achieved. Well, for me, someone living with HIV shown me that stigma doesn't just silence. It separates us from support we need. Over time, I found that the strength not only in my own healing, but standing beside those who aren't ready to share their stories yet until they are. I'll continue to use my voice to speak truth, offer hope, and help build a community here in Broward County and across the country where no one has to walk this path alone. I continue to honor those we've lost, uplift those still here, and fight stigma, not just on July 21st, but every single day of the year. And with that, it's very interesting. Stigma is a real thing, and you see it in so many things. It's not just HIV, but you see it in stigma is just someone's biases that have come into play really in an ugly way.
Yeah, and especially now, the last 8 years have been really tough. There's new isolationism in politics, and the current administration's allowance of bigotry and anger to rule the roost is just absolutely jackass, asinine, and that's being polite.
Right.
Well, I was unaware that such a day existed, and now that I know, I believe we should all be HIV Stigma Warriors.
Yeah, I agree.
Amen.
Well, that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.